Hi, this is Rick Harsch, and I'm not going to talk about Salman Rushdie. Today I'm going to talk about obscenity in literature and humanity, or something like that. I'm a writer. Uh, there's sex in my novels, and there's violence. Um, where I feel it's necessary, where I feel it should be. But now I'm also the publisher of a press called Corona Samizdat. That's doing quite well, thank you. We have gotten the permission to bring back Chandler Broussard, the author of Raging Joy, Sublime Violations. Now, this book is probably the best subversive novel about Vietnam because it goes beyond the descriptive to the metaphorical, and it jokes, but it also nails all of the people involved. And as you know, we just saw in Washington D.C. Um, a bunch of people who are typical examples of followers of populist people, populist leaders like Benito Mussolini and Alfred Hitler, or was it Alfred? Adolf Hitler. How soon we forget. We don't forget, actually. We just think it's different. And but fascism is fascism, and colonialism is colonialism, and colonialist fascism is colonialist fascism. The United States and Vietnam, that was a horror to very poor people in Vietnam. And this man, Chandler Broussard, um, nails it in this book. What you see on the cover here, let me describe it for you, is Lyndon Johnson getting a blowjob from a child. John F. Kennedy, pre epic. Nixon laughing with his scrotal penile gun. And on the back, you get Henry Kissinger eating the head of a baby. Now, you might think, well, that is obscene. But when you consider that 2 to 3 million Vietnamese died when they didn't have to, they beat the French, they beat off the colonial power, and the U.S. stepped in for no good reason, and another 2 to 3 million Vietnamese died. This guy eating the head of a baby actually chose bomb sites in Cambodia, um, and also he was the architect of the um, subversion of the Johnson um, 1968 peace accords. So a lot more people died than ever had to, including during the Christmas bombing of 1972, 73. John F. Kennedy, well, he's responsible for the death of the leader up until from 54 to 63, No Din Zim and his brother. Um, Gulf of Tonkin and the rapid escalation of the war, Lyndon Johnson. Now, my question is, would you look at this cover and say that can't be on public formats or platforms? For instance, Instagram is not happy with this cover because it's got a cock on it, and look, boobies. Um, well, is there anything even close to sexual obscenity and the barbarous slaughter of millions? I don't think so. So um, I wonder about book covers being uh, too sexy for the general public. This one is Chandler Broussard's As the Wolf Howls at My Door. He used an old, we usually call them French postcards, for the cover of the book. He chose it. The author chose it. And it was published in 1981 or 1991. I don't remember. Anyway, we're bringing it back out, and we're going to use the same cover because that's what Broussard wanted. There are tits, breasts on the cover, and therefore Instagram has twice removed it so far when someone posted it. I live in Europe, and breasts are all over the beaches. I mean, they're usually attached to bodies. It's not like you can walk the beach and pick up breasts and put them in a bag. No, there are women with breasts, and men. They have breasts too. Some bigger than others. Generally, I think on average the women have bigger breasts, but I don't know about nipple size. I haven't really paid close attention. But the thing is, this is considered obscene. And yet, in my daily life, in warm weather, when I walk the beach, you know, I can see breasts anytime I want to. They don't necessarily excite me. Sometimes they do. But I just think, hey, there's a breast. Or I don't think anything because it's so normal here. Now, another Chandler Broussard book that will be removed occasionally is Wake Up, We're Almost There, which is considered by some, myself included, the greatest novel of the 1960s. Now, we have one obscenity here, the passport. Nationalism is dead, baby. But you have Chandler Broussard and his canceled passport, and you have a variety of people, and you have oh, there they are, bare boobs up at the top. That will also be canceled. Now, so far we have not published As the Wolf Howls. It's coming this year. This we have published, and it's available from Corona Samizdat. This we published first by Broussard because it was thin and much cheaper. And I'll tell you, the guy who did the cover, Zachary Tanner, did in his own fashion what I more or less thought was the best thing to do. I didn't say put John F. Kennedy's cock in there, make it hard, and give it a very, 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 very red head. I just told him more or less what I wanted, and I'm very pleased with what he did. There's a lot. You can understand everything about the Vietnam War by meditating on this book, front and back. But we have another book. It's in 2 volumes. The first volume is out. It's called The Assassination of Olof Palme. Here's the cover. As you can see, there's a corpse shortly after he was corpsed. And in the background, if you look at it, that's the same guy. That was an anarchist killed by police in Milano in 1969, Giuseppe Pinelli. That, in my opinion, is far more obscene than anything you see that I showed you before. A penis, a rectum, because we have a book coming out called Tenderlopolis that is a wonderful, wild epistolary novel written by a Serbian woman, and it has illustrations, and it's erotica. It's erotic literature, but it is literature. Remember what the judge said about Joyce in, I think, 1933, was it, or 31? That it wasn't emetic. It wasn't written to make you puke. And really, when I think of Ulysses, it was about Ulysses. When I think of Ulysses, I think, like, like, where would I, if I needed to masturbate to literature, where would I go in Ulysses? Even Henry Miller, I mean, he was, at night when I look at Boris's goatee and the pillow, I get hysterical. Oh, Tanya, where is that cunt of yours? He talks cunt, and he talks about the goatee of Boris being the shape in hair of a woman's vaginal hair, and then later he sees a little bit of egg in there, and he's starving, and it's really very effective, I think, but it you can't get off on it. It's not pornography. It's literature. Just like Joyce, just like this, just like Chandler Brossard. So, this is it's my call to action. Buy these books, or at least spread the covers. Put them everywhere. Because if these are obscene, your life is witnessing much greater obscenity on pretty much a daily basis. Sorry for the preaching, but, I'm a writer.